your body, as the password. No more IDs. Imagine a world where you never need a username, a password, a driver's license, or even a wallet. Where your body is the key, not a piece of plastic, not a string of characters, but you. Not something you know, something you are. This is the coming era where the body becomes the password. A world powered by biometrics. Long before smartphones, apps, digital security, and cloud computing, humans were already using parts of the body to distinguish one person from another. The story of biometric identity goes farther back than you might think. Historical records show that as far back as 500 BC in Babylon, fingerprints were pressed into clay tablets to sign business transactions, not as decoration, but as written evidence of identity. In the late 1800s, Alphonse Bertillon, a French criminologist, invented one of the first structured identity systems based on the human body. Instead of names, he measured heads, forearms, and bodies to identify repeat offenders. This system, called anthropometries, was revolutionary for police work but had limitations, eventually giving way to fingerprinting. Around the same time, scientists realized something even more unique: fingerprints. Sir Francis Galton studied fingerprint patterns scientifically, showing they were unique and permanent. Sir Edward Henry, working in India, developed a classification system that became the global standard for fingerprint databases. The switch from body measurements to fingerprints helped pave the way for biometric systems we rely on today. While physical bodily traits were long used for identification, automated biometric systems didn't emerge until the age of computing. Throughout the 20th century, researchers and engineers worked to make recognition systems faster, digital, and scalable. Fingerprint scanning systems connected to computers first took root in law enforcement databases like the FBI's Automated Fingerprint Identification System, AFIS. In the 1960s and 70s, scientists began experimenting with computerized facial recognition, systems that could map distances between facial features to match identities. Later, iris scanners, retina...
Stop. A lot of the things that we think are new technology, apparently people have been working on for decades, before many of us were even born. It takes time, to perfect it, to get it to the point of to be stable. To be considered a conspiracy theorist nowadays is just one of the worst things I've learned, because people they're going to believe what's presented, and depends how it's presented. It could be pretty convincing. However, what about critical thinking? The thought comes across my head like, so they did all this work, and you don't think that there could have been one nefarious person among the groups of people who do all this testing and creating and inventing to use it in a nefarious way? You truly think that everyone has good intentions? I say all that to say that I'm just saying maybe there could be a plan. Maybe there's no plan, and we're just evolving organically. But that maybe is 50-50, which means maybe there is a plan and things are not evolving organically, but tactfully and purposely. Let's continue on.
Scans, voice biometrics, and behavioral biometrics expanded the field. Traditionally, human identity was verified with something you know, passwords, something you have, ID cards, something you are, biometrics. Passwords and ID cards can be lost, stolen, or hacked. Biometrics cannot be forgotten. They are you. And today, that's changing everything. Unlocking your phone with fingerprint scanners, Face ID, voice authentication. All of these replace traditional PINs and passwords with body-based security. Major national programs rely on biometrics. The Aadhaar ID system in India uses fingerprints, facial, and iris scans to enroll over 1.3 billion people. Companies like IDEMIA partner with governments to build and maintain these systems. Government groups such as the Biometric Consortium, backed by the U.S. Department of Defense and standards bodies like NIST, coordinate research and evaluation of biometric systems globally. Amazon One used Palm biometric technology in stores to allow customers to pay and authenticate with a hand scan, sparking debates about convenience versus privacy.
Ooh, I remember when we talked about other countries possibly trying this out, and we're like, yo, I don't know if we're going to get to that point. And here we are, paying for things. It seems like just 2019, 2020. Because some of the Asian countries had did this before us. And here we are now, just a mere 4 or 5 years later. And we're implementing the same processes that we once judged other countries for doing and saying, oh, yeah, that's crazy. That's far out. I don't know if we're going for that. Slow and steady wins the race. Just wear people down. In my opinion, just wear people down. Just wear people down. Slow and steady wins the race, and they'll forget. Because that's the other thing. I believe that people forget really fast about the past, right? They will forget what just happened even, 2 years ago. They have a way of just letting it slide right off their shoulders and forgetting.
Unique biometric companies like Dayon, Inc. build platforms that authenticate users with a combination of fingerprints, face, speech, and more, often powered by FIDO Alliance standards aimed at eliminating passwords. Michael Barrett was the Chief Information Security Officer, CSO, at PayPal when the FIDO Alliance was founded in 2012. He is the key individual link between PayPal and FIDO. He co-founded the FIDO Alliance as PayPal's security lead, became president of the FIDO Alliance, publicly championed passwordless authentication, framed passwords as the weakest link in internet security. At the time, PayPal was bleeding money from account takeovers, phishing was exploding. Two-factor authentication wasn't enough. Barrett's position was basically, as long as passwords exist, fraud will exist. That thinking directly shaped FIDO's philosophy. No shared secrets, no centralized biometric databases, cryptographic proof instead of identity claims. Oracle is one of the largest and most powerful technology companies in the world. But unlike consumer brands like Apple or Google, Oracle operates mostly behind the scenes. Founded in 1977, Oracle built its reputation by creating enterprise-grade databases, business software, and cloud infrastructure used by governments, banks, healthcare systems, military contractors, and Fortune 500 corporations. At its core, Oracle specializes in data, how it is stored, secured, accessed, and controlled at massive scale. When an institution needs to manage millions of identities, transactions, or records securely and reliably, Oracle is often the company providing the backbone. Because of this, Oracle sits at the center of critical systems that power modern society, even though the average person may never interact with the brand directly. Over time, Oracle expanded from databases into cloud computing, identity and access management, and security architecture, making it a major player in how digital identity is verified and enforced across large organizations and government systems. Oracle is directly involved in the global move toward passwordless authentication and modern biometric identity systems, not on the consumer side, but at the institutional level. Oracle is a member of the FIDO Alliance, the industry group responsible for developing open standards that eliminate passwords and replace them with cryptographic and biometric authentication. Oracle's focus is not on scanning faces on smartphones. Instead, it builds the infrastructure that allows governments, corporations, and critical institutions to authenticate people securely without relying on passwords. This includes systems that support biometric verification, hardware-backed security, and zero-trust identity models where access is continuously verified rather than assumed. In practical terms, Oracle helps answer questions like, who is allowed to access this system? How can identity be verified without passwords? How do we authenticate millions of users securely without storing sensitive biometric data in centralized databases? By integrating FIDO standards into its identity platforms, Oracle supports a model where your biometric data stays local to your device, while the system receives cryptographic proof that you are authorized. This approach reduces phishing, credential theft, and large-scale data breaches, problems that traditional password systems were never designed to solve. In the broader Your Body as the Password framework, Oracle represents the institutional layer, the company that makes passwordless identity functional inside governments, banks, healthcare networks, and enterprise systems. While consumer tech companies handle convenience and user experience, Oracle ensures that the same principles work at national and global scale. Lockheed Martin is one of the largest defense and aerospace companies in the world, and a central pillar of the modern U.S. national security apparatus. Formed in 1995 through the merger of Lockheed Corporation and Martin Marietta, the company designs and builds advanced military aircraft, missile defense systems, satellites, space technology, cybersecurity platforms, and classified defense systems for the United States government and its allies. Lockheed Martin is best known publicly for programs like the F-35 fighter jet, missile defense systems, and space and satellite technology. However, beyond hardware, the company plays a critical role in secure information systems, classified networks, and defense-grade cybersecurity. Much of Lockheed Martin's work is not consumer-facing and often operates behind layers of classification, regulation, and government oversight.
If you made it this far in the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to Society Past, Present, and Future. It's a social science channel. We talk about, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll talk about all the things that make up a society, the different functionalities, going from the past, present, and future. I do think you would enjoy the channel. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share. Let us carry on.
At its core, Lockheed Martin's mission is about trust, access, and control in high-risk environments, ensuring that only the right people, at the right time, can access the most sensitive systems in the world. Lockheed Martin is involved in the global shift toward passwordless and biometric-based authentication, but its role is very different from consumer technology companies. Lockheed Martin approaches biometrics from a defense and government security perspective, not convenience or everyday user experience. The company is a member of the FIDO Alliance, aligning itself with modern authentication standards designed to eliminate passwords and replace them with strong, cryptographic, and often biometric-based identity verification. For Lockheed Martin, passwords represent a vulnerability, especially in environments where national security, military operations, and classified data are at stake.
So, I guess it's how you say a thing, right? If you just come out and say, hey, eventually one day you might be your own IP address. It gives off conspiracy theory a little bit, and it's like, nobody. That's a bit far-fetched. But what if you're listening closely to this video, what you're actually hearing is that they're refining personal authentication so that it can be streamlined and almost seamless, right? The idea is to have it to the point where it is secure but effortless. And how simplified can they get it is the question. How simplified will this go? That's for you to think about, right? Critically, right? And then that eliminates all of these fringe theories right then and there. Because now you see there are actual, not rinky-dink companies, but the top companies in the world working on this solution. Let's carry on.
Rather than building face recognition for phones, Lockheed Martin focuses on identity assurance, zero-trust security models, and access control systems where identity must be continuously verified. In these environments, authentication may involve a combination of hardware security, biometrics, cryptographic keys, and strict policy enforcement, ensuring that identity cannot be spoofed, copied, or stolen through traditional phishing or credential theft. In this context, biometrics are not about replacing IDs for convenience. They are about reducing insider threats, preventing unauthorized access, and securing mission-critical systems. The idea of your body as the password fits naturally into defense systems where physical presence, verified identity, and cryptographic proof must all align before access is granted. Within the broader biometric ecosystem, Lockheed Martin represents the government and military layer, where passwordless identity is not optional, failure is not acceptable, and security standards are often stricter than those used in civilian systems. Their involvement signals that biometric and passwordless authentication is no longer experimental, but foundational to how high-security systems are being designed for the future. Other players like Onfido use mobile cameras and AI to verify identities by comparing a selfie to government IDs. Recent research and industry innovation are pushing biometrics beyond fingerprints and faces. Behavioral biometrics, how you type, walk, interact with devices. Heartbeat signatures, cardiac rhythms as unique authentication. Gait and motion analysis, how you walk as a secure key.
I seen that in Jason Bourne. Again, the name of this channel is Society, Past, Present, and Future. Society, Past, Present, and Future. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I seen that whole gape thing, the record, gape recognition, and Jason Bourne, and here we are, right? It's not that I never thought we would get there, but it just felt so far away, and I didn't know how close we were actually. We actually were, and that's because knowledge is power, and I didn't know they already had this technology in the 70s. So
EEG brainwave patterns, using neural signatures as biometric IDs. Many of these emerging systems are still in research labs, but they represent the future of identity. Passwords are already on their way out. Groups like the FIDO Alliance unite major tech companies and governments to build authentication standards that remove passwords entirely, replacing them with secure biometric factors. These standards are critical for interoperability and privacy, ensuring that biometric systems across devices and services speak the same language. But with great power comes great responsibility. Biometric data is immutable. Unlike a password, you cannot change your...
look at if you can, if you're driving, please don't look. But just our anatomy is spectacular. It really is. And I'm looking at this fingerprint here, and what I'm thinking about is the patterns, right? It's all mathematics, right? So the geometry, the patterns, but it is, to me, if you was to ask me, I think the human body is a highly sophisticated technology piece of work, right? Because everything on this body is just a mathematical phenomenon. To be able to use skin as a transistor and a receiver of energy frequencies, and that work way better. Even the storage, the information, our body can store information better than any device that we've known or have built so far. That's not even an exaggeration. Wow, just mind-blowing.
Face or fingerprints if they're compromised. This raises deep privacy and ethical questions about data storage, surveillance, consent, bias, and fairness. Researchers and industry groups work not only on technology, but also on policies to protect citizens and ensure responsible use. So what's next? Experts predict that by 2030, many parts of society will have moved to passwordless identity systems.
Stop right there, right? This is not about fringe science or just talking to talk. The reason many experts agree that by the year 2030, these new processes will be in place is because the World Economic Forum and the United Nations did an actual partnership, not like a gossip. Yo, I heard they working together. No, this is not fringe. This is not pseudo. This is not none of those things. This is an actual partnership that they work together. They came together and said, let's set some goals that we agree on to meet by the year 2030. So that's called the 2030 agenda. The whole agenda word attached to it gives it a I'm trying to avoid the word, but you guys know what word I'm talking about. But this is not that. This is an actual partnership. And one of the goals is to have passwordless, no passwords. That means they're gonna have to rely on your biometrical. If that's a word, am I saying that right? Biological metrics. I like that better. Biometrical could be a word, but I'm not confident. I know biological metrics. I know what that is, and they're going to be relying on your anatomy to the unique traits to prove who you are. What you're going to do with that information is on you. I'm just here on this society channel, past, present, and future, doing the work.
Powered by biometrics, seamlessly authenticating your identity without cards, pins, or logins. This spans banking, travel, healthcare, government services, everyday consumer devices. Biometrics may even unlock our cars, homes, financial accounts, and digital lives, all with just you. From clay tablets to digital identities, from fingerprints to heartbeat signatures, the journey of authentication mirrors humanity's need for trust and certainty. Your body isn't just a password, it's you. And soon, it might just be all you ever need.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Listen, tell me how you feel about the video. If it helped you out, if there was something you learned or you didn't learn, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, right? And I just ask for that like and that share and that subscribe. All right. This has been Society Past, Present, Future. Thank you. Until next time. Peace out.